welcome to episode 1 of Russ's One Idea podcast. Second idea, Andrew christened it that. I sit down with my mate Andrew and we're just chatting, Or actually, he came all prepared with questions and dice and everything because he's fucking crazy. And we had a great laugh. We had a great time just chatting the shit. And this is something new I'm going to do is just chatting with some mates, flapping my gums and seeing what happens, you know what I mean? I'll still be doing the interviews, but this will be under the second idea episode list. So if you enjoy it, please like, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my other stuff, please do the same. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and I hope we can have some fun along the way. Help me out on this one. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever. Thanks very much. Peace out. All right. Let's do this shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is One Idea. Welcome to your host, Russ McCloud.
Yeah, this is the inaugural episode of, I don't know what to call this. One Idea. What should we call this? Chewing the shit, chewing the fat, talking shit.
2 ideas?
Flapping your gums, whatever, you know what I mean?
Flim flamming. Sounds perfect.
Which, yeah, double airbags. After our conversation the other day.
Well, I mean, to start off, actually, the idea that I do have for my own podcast that I've done before is called In Vino Veritas, where I'm basically going to run it off this format. So, Russ, my man, I'm going to kick it right off. You are easily one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life. Certainly one of the sexiest. I wish you had a beard. But I will tell you this right now, off the top of my head, I can think of nobody else that I legitimately need to talk to at least once a week to get myself more updated to thoughts outside the box, wisdom in general, philosophy, and more than anything, crazy ass stories. Dude, you've led one of my favorite lives that I've ever heard about. So to have you on and ask you these questions anybody listening is going to be having a gift right here because you've had an incredible life to me, but more importantly, it's fun for me. And it always is. So I'm really happy to do this with you, man. And I can't wait because you definitely deserve it. So do you want to just kick it off right now?
Yeah, let's go for it. I just chewing, talking shit. You know what I mean? Whatever comes up, we'll talk about. I'm cool with that. Whatever.
All right, man. So this is what I got. I got in front of me questions from 2 to 12 and 2 dice. I'm going to roll this dice, ask you these questions. These are questions that I came up with specifically centered around you. Things that, one, I think people would be interested in. More importantly, things that I'm always interested in and I love hearing you about. These are questions that I do not believe I've asked you before. I took time to make sure that was something besides, hey, Russ, how big's your dick? I ask you that all the time, or anything else like that. So first roll coming off right now.
About how big's your dick? In Thailand, a policeman stopped me and asked me that once. and also, a student asked me that because I'm quite open with the students. And this, what was it? Grade 7 or 8? 7, 6 or 7. And he's like, teaching us, how big's your dick? Look, that's not an appropriate question to ask. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be asking that.
You should have been like, look, that's not an appropriate question. The answer is 8 inches, but it's not. Don't listen. Totally crossing lines here. If you were to measure a line and it was 8 inches, that would be the size of my girth. Probably what it is. So I rolled a 7.
I mentioned it to my mom, and she's like, "Fucking hell!" She didn't swear. She doesn't swear, does she? She's like, if that was in the UK, you'd be like with social services all night for going through paperwork for that. In China, it's just say nothing. Sorry, mate. I was
gonna say, well, just to add to that, when I was teaching in Japan, literally, like, the kids used to wrestle me in class, and they're high schoolers, and they jump on top of me. We do sumo in class. If I put my hand on it, joking around or anything in America, you're done. You're done. You got to keep the door open in America, basically. So I did roll a 7, and this is the question I have for you. You're a very strong guy and a pretty damn good martial artist. One of the best strikers I've had the pleasure of holding mitts for. What started you on that journey to become who you are regarding martial arts?
I don't know. I think we might have had this conversation. My sister come to visit me in Thailand. And when I moved to Thailand, I stopped exercising and just started eating. And I don't know, I was about 110, maybe 120 kilos, whatever that is in pounds, 240, something like that, heavyweight. And I went to see my sister down in Hua Hin, and at the hotel she was staying at, they had this like free Muay Thai thing, you know. So it's like, I'll have a go at this. Within minutes, I'm on the floor trying to breathe through my arsehole. You know what I mean? When when you're trying to find another orifice to breathe out of. I'm like that. I tell you, I'm a bit like that now. Oh, I'm so bad. But this is like what, over 10 years ago, I think. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then that was it. I came back after that and I thought, fuck this, I've got to get fit. So this guy that was a friend of my girlfriend at the time, he was doing jiu-jitsu. I was watching UFC, so I started doing the jiu-jitsu, started running, and he was like a blue belt, and I was a bit bigger than him. So as soon as, at first when my fitness was crap, he'd batter me. But then when I started to get fit, I'd be beating him and he'd be like, moaning like mad, going, you shouldn't use strength. Fuck, I can't help it. You know what I mean? I'm not technical.
You should get strength. You should get strength.
You're beginning. So that's when I first went. It was like, I'm going to start doing MMA. And that's when I first went up to Pattaya and met Christian, and started going up there when he was at the other place. And because I was strong and daft, he'd be training for fights, and not that I was a massive sparring partner to him, you know what I mean? But I'd help him with the grappling because I was a good body for him to be training with, you know what I mean? So, and that was weird at the time because there was a guy there called Joe. The first guy, he died not long after, but the guy there called Joe, and there'd just be me and him at times. So he'd be like, right, let's see what you got then. And we'd just roll for an hour or so. And he'd just tap me out. My defense,
I remember you telling me he was. Yeah, I remember you telling me about Joe. Didn't you say he was like he's a strange guy, but he was a good coach. Like he knew how to teach.
Me and him he was a strange guy, and I'm strange, aren't I? So we sort of met in the middle somewhere. So I like that. All right, let's just roll and see what happens. And I'd have to try and work things out on my own. He'd teach me bits now and again, like, you know what I mean? So I'd learn defense more than anything.
Who was a better coach, him or Mamoru?
Oh, him by far. That's the worst coach I've ever met. He must put people off jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? I remember when I posted something about when I went up to train with Lee, who's been on a podcast, and I posted, this is what it's like. And you've said something, it's like, no, it wasn't aimed at you, man. It was aimed at him, It's like, oh, he was an arsehole. I had to leave one day, otherwise I was going to end up fighting with him. Oh,
jeez, gosh, I know how that feels. But wait, Russ, then, so kind of on that, so that's martial arts for you, just to get fit, but you've always been like really big and strong to me. What got you into the weightlifting? It wasn't then, right? Because you were strong, right?
I used to be a skinny fucker. I was really skinny. You know what I mean? I still probably see myself as quite skinny. Even though all my jumpers and t-shirts and everything look like they're ironed on a wok. So
the old Tyson Fury jumpsuit.
So it's like, I used to train some bits and pieces, but I think a lot was like when you're young and you're working on building sites and things like that, and you're grafting all day, So there's times when I've worked on building sites and you work all day, like do 12 hours a day, carrying just crap all day, and then working in factories. We used to handball steel off the back of like a wagon full of steel, and we'd handball it all off, So you just get a different kind of strength, because a lot of people say I'm strong when they grapple with me, and it's a different kind of strength you get from doing that to doing weights. I know that it's totally different because it's everything. You're moving all your body at one time. That's why I used to like doing big tires and all those sorts of things, and a lot of strongman exercises. I like all that shit, lifting heavy shit. Like,
well, you and I have talked about this before. When it comes to power, I think that's what is the most important thing for fighting. Like obviously endurance lifting and strength lifting, components, but for sure to me, power is definitely the most essential thing you need as a fighter. Having the ability to move heavy weight as fast as you possibly can and be able to hit that fast twitch muscle, I think is so essential. Like it's one of the best things, most proper thing you can train in MMA. So, dude, I mean, like I said before, when I used to roll. I was just so, it's like, I can't manipulate any of your ligaments. It's just too strong. It's amazing. So that's why I just laid on top of you and whispered sweet nothings into your ear. Just,
Yeah,
that's exactly what was the goal.
I don't think I'm that strong now. I haven't done much for ages, and I'm really unfit. It's so bad. I struggle getting motivated now because I'm unfit. And you just, can't be bothered, can't be bothered.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's easily the hardest thing to do is get back in the gym. Most people think that, right? To me, the hardest thing to do is start eating right. That's always the hardest for me. Like going to the gym, I'll just baby step it. I'll literally walk into the gym and do like 25% of what I usually do, but I did it. But nutrition, it's like, okay, I'm just going to make sure I eat clean for a whole week. That's a whole different mindset. That's a hard one for me. Like most people, I would imagine.
I'm just
going to roll.
Go on, roll the dice, see what we get.
Okay, man, I got this. You have the One Idea podcast.
Yeah.
It's an incredible podcast, and I cannot believe the people that you have got on. The fact that you and I are doing something right now, and I can be like, I can't believe you got on Tony, and I can't believe you got on John Fitt. Look at you, dude. It's unbelievable to me.
It amazes me.
I do want to ask you this. I know this has evolved into like a more like, I'm going to see who I can get on, and you just have great questions. And anybody that can watch it, it's just an awesome experience. You're a very good host. What is the One Idea now? Because I know what originally was a goal, an objective that you had, came to like a social ideal. Now it's come into something different where it's more focusing on MMA. But I want to know originally what was the goal of the One Idea?
The original thing was One Idea to talk to people about let's because what I see in life is arguments and it's divide and conquer. If we're all fucking arguing, nothing ever gets solved, does it? Because we're all arguing, so nothing ever happens. And then whether you believe it's the things that I believe in or you believe in governments, they never have to change because there's too much arguing going on, so they never have to change, and they can just carry on regardless. So if people had one idea and we said no, fucking sort that out, then they'd have to, because you wouldn't give them anywhere else to go. No, that. You know what I mean? So it's like my idea when I was looking at changing the world, and I don't think I'm charismatic enough for that, was if we look at just changing the taxation system for starters and making that fair, well, that was where the original one was. So why is it okay for Google not to pay any tax, but if I earn something, I have to pay tax? Oh, actually, I pay tax for twice. I pay tax on my earnings, and then I pay tax on my spending.
Wow. Yeah.
And also possibly we pay tax 3 times, because if, let's say, I get really old and I save loads of money and I have kids or whatever, and then all that money's sat in the bank, and then one of my kids have it, let's say, if I have kids, then I pay tax on that money again. So I pay tax on that money twice, pay tax on my earnings twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, and then Google are paying nothing, and they're making millions. I know, yes, they're giving jobs, etc., and things like that, and those people are paying tax on their jobs, but at the end of the day, the rich are getting massively richer, and the poor are carrying on in that slavery thing, and this pandemic is enslaving people more into debt than anything, and I think debt is the biggest slavery. So it stops people leading lives that they want to lead because they're stuck. So what it's changed to now is I am actually trying to branch out from MMA fighters because it gets a bit repetitive. And I noticed what it was like when I talk to you, it's different. We just talk shit. And when I talk to my friend who's a psychologist, we just have a chat about loads of different things. And it's a bit, you go through the same process with fighters. So, I've got, I'm trying to hit up different people to talk about different things. Like I've got a kayaker on later, which would be cool to speak to him. It's about people who live their lives now, who just live their dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who instead of go from school, or get a job, or get married, or get a mortgage, or get a house, or oh, fuck, what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
No, that's you know what, man, I'm gonna cut in just quick because that's one of my favorite quotes from Fight Club. I think it goes, I'm gonna screw it up, but it goes basically like this. So I went to go see my dad after I graduated high school. I go, Dad, what do I do now? He goes, I don't know, go to college. I got done with college and I go, Dad, what do I do now? He goes, I don't know, get a job. So I got a job. I go back, I go, Dad, what do I do now? He goes, I don't know, get married. And it just became the same thing and the
Yeah.
same thing every single time. There's a next step, but that next step has nothing to do with you as a person. It has to do with society demands of you. And by the way, the happiest guy I know in my life, the happiest and the healthiest, is my father, and he did that. He's a very happy person. He wanted a family. He wanted the white picket fence. He loves his job. He works out every day. Unbelievable person, right? So there's nothing wrong with the dream in that aspect, right? But for those that don't want to do that, definitely myself, I don't think there's anything wrong with sitting still and thinking about what makes me happy and what I can do to contribute. I think Pascal said something that was really interesting to me. He said that all of man's problems stem from the fact that a human can't just sit in his room alone, sit by themselves.
What you're saying therein lies the problem, doesn't it? And that's why that's what I want to do with this, is show people that there are alternatives. It's like, did I make the decision? One of the big things for me at the moment is about how many decisions do I actually make? How many decisions how many thoughts are actually our own? And how many thoughts are just what we've been told all our lives? Which is, that's where it is. And we're never taught to think about what you said there about what makes us happy. We're never taught to think about what we like, what we're good at, what we do, how we do it. We talk about measurable things. What grade do I get? Can I get this exam? How much money do I get? These are all quantifiable things. And that's what education is, quantify. It has to be measurable, because teachers can't do things that aren't measurable, like ideas. How do you teach ideas? You know what I mean? That frightens the hell out of people because you can't measure it. So these things are what we miss. But then you start getting into the thing of, it's social conditioning, it's slavery, it's, you don't want that. People don't like that word because I get paid. So slaves got paid with food and lodgings. Still fucking slaves. They're still, you know what I mean? It's like,
I know what you mean. It's interesting. You said something that I thought of as Descartes' Meditations was all about that, of him just being like, I am now going to sit here and question every single thing that's been told to me about life. I'm going to question existence, question God, going to question society. He just sat there and built a block of what he believed reality was. So therefore, I think, therefore I am, that was his bedrock. Like, okay, so I exist. Let's go from there.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, because the first philosopher would be like, no, everything. I'm going to question everything. I'm going to sit here. I hope he was drunk, because that's probably the only way that or tripping on mushrooms. That's the only way you can get that deep. It's just big.
I'm going to question everything.
So I'm going to jump right into the next one, my man. And now we got question 9. Here we go. Oh, this is so odd, because this actually links up with what you were saying before. Russ, you don't have any children, and people usually demand permanence before they die, a human trait, like a grave or whatever. I do not feel that you believe that. However, I'll say this. You've had an incredible life full of wisdom. This I can attest to. If you were to give your son or your daughter an essential lesson from what you have learned, so just think of any kid that goes, hey, tell me about life. What would it be? What would be like just a concept? It doesn't have to be like, hey, always brush your teeth. Like, it could be anything that you learn that's a concept that you believe.
Yeah, put your undies on the right way around. What's it?
I thought you called them knickers.
Knickers? No, that's what girls wear. Lads wear undies or skids.
Yeah, I thought you called them knickers. Trust me, I've seen you with the panties on. Hey, dude, no judgment, bro.
No, mate. You know what I mean? that's in the week. It's undies. On the weekend when I wear knickers. You know what I mean? G-strings.
On the weekends when I'm Sheila. Yeah, thongs, exactly.
I know, that's called flip-flops, thongs, don't they? What would I do? It's probably what I was told. by my parents, but I don't think they expected me to actually do it with everything. It's try everything. I don't think they really thought I'd be. I don't think they really meant drugs and stuff, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, but no, try everything once and see what you like. Tell you someone really fucking hates me. And I was with someone the other week, and they were doing it. Like, it's like, oh, do you want some of this? No, I don't like it. Oh, have you tried it? No. Well, how the fuck do you know you don't like it? You know what I mean? So it's like they eat with their eyes. I know you do to a certain amount, but it's like, or they because they don't know what it is, they don't want to try it. Whereas I go to a restaurant, I'm looking at the menu. Oh, what's that? Let me try. Oh, can I have some of that? Like when I was in Colombia, I was sat in a restaurant in Bogota, and I ordered this soup that they told me, which is the main dish in Bogota. And I looked across. It's like, I was like, you know, like a meerkat. And I seen these with a hot chocolate, or it looked like a hot chocolate, and this white stuff with it. It's like, is that fucking cheese? I come over here to the waiter, like, come here. What's that? Oh, give me one of them. Let me try one of them. You know, it's just like, I want to try it. I see it. I want to try it. You know, it's like,
yeah.
And that's the thing, you know, I just feel sorry for people who just don't want to experiment, don't want to try things, you know, and maybe someone will kill me for doing that, but I'd rather die doing something than fucking die hiding from stuff. And you know, it's a big thing at the moment with me with stay safe. Oh, I fucking hate it if people say stay safe or be careful. It pisses me off, something fucking rotten. I know it shouldn't, but it's like, stop it. Have a word with yourself. What are you doing? Just fucking have a word with yourself. Go and enjoy yourself. That's what you want to do. Not fucking stay safe, be careful. You know what I mean? Imagine your life.
I love it. A 7-year-old comes up to you, Ross, don't say safe. Don't be careful. Don't play.
Oh, I speak to these Chinese kids, and they're like, oh, you've got to be safe there. You've got to be careful. And I just want to tell them to fuck off. I can't, like, because they're students. You know what I mean?
But it's like, or they're people, Russ.
Yeah, I know, but like, you're insulting me. Don't get upset when I insult you back. You know what I mean? For me,
you're the only person I know that takes "be careful" as an insult. The only person. Russ, hey, we care about you, man. We love you. Be careful out there. Fuck off. That's my friend. That's my friend, it's Russ. Like, fuck off, you cunt.
You're 19 and you're trying to tell me, like, you know what I mean? Maybe I do need it, but I'd rather have scars than fucking, you know, like unblemished skin, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because there's more story in scars, isn't there?
The strange question or strange sidebar, but there was a girl that was my client once, and she had just this really stubborn disposition, really amazing life, really. But she once said this quote to me. I go, what, you know, kind of asked her the same thing. I go, what's the quote that you, and she goes, I would rather ask forgiveness than permission. And I go,
we use that one.
And I go, that's a really dumb quote. And I sat there for like 20 minutes just debating with her about how that was a horrible ideal to stick to. I was like, it's like, there's tons of things you have to ask permission for, especially consent. What the hell are you talking about? And it's so funny because I got what she meant. Like, I understood the intention, which is you just don't let control, just go and do it. And then afterwards, if it's against that person, like, oh, you know, you shouldn't. No, it's more about you taking bold steps, making your claim. Like, I got the ideal. It was just the semantics that I just wanted to argue with.
Yeah, that's a dumb thing. Doesn't always work with fucking drunk sex, does it? But you know, it can get you in fucking prison.
Yes.
But, you know, talking about drunk sex, or not drunk sex, but what's this shit you write? You haven't told me about that before. Yeah.
Oh my man, I have no problem with telling about it. So this is what's up.
No, I know.
My girlfriend. Yeah, well, I'm up right now. I'm talking to you. My girlfriend, she had a friend who lives in Korea. My girlfriend is a hypnotherapist and a flight attendant. And she had a friend who lives in Korea, and she does erotica for a phone company. I think it's like Line or whatever. It's like choose your own adventure. If you choose this, it goes to this page. If you choose this, it goes to this page. And she goes to my girlfriend. She goes, hey, I know you're really, really good at grammar. Her friend's mom's a paralegal, and my girlfriend used to edit her mom's stuff. She goes, I know you're really good at grammar. Could you just check this for me? Sends it to my girlfriend. My girlfriend does it, sends it back to her, and she's like, well, this is perfect. This is like, thank you. Do you want to get paid for this? My girlfriend goes, yeah, but that's fine. But not to be offensive, but did you write this? And she goes, no, I'm just translating what they're saying. She goes, right, because like this could be written a lot better. Basically, the writing sucks because like they're literally translating Korean to English, and it doesn't make sense that much sometimes. So she gave it to me because I've been writing since I was 7. Like I just I used to sit under trees and write. I've written for articles. I've, written just so many different genres of fiction or poetry, whatever. She goes, here, do what you can with this. And so what it is they'll have a sentence, and let's keep it in context. It will be like, she slowly lowered himself into his lap, eyes aghast. And I'll be like, that doesn't sound sexy. And so I'll change it up. Like I'll write a description more for American audiences or for English speaking audiences. So I don't actually write the erotica, not that I haven't done that before. Get it? I localize it. So I localize it, my girlfriend edits it, and we get paid for it. Yeah. So
I don't know if I'd be any good at writing it. I've made some shit movies in the past, but
Russ, for the last time, seeing a clip of you slamming your pelvis into something, especially a pillow, is not a movie. We've talked about it. It doesn't count as a Scorsese, bro. I'm sorry.
Like that.
Oh God.
Put lipstick on your hand like that. I'm a porn star.
I did it. I made it, Mom. I made it. Okay. I rolled an 11. So name 5 things in your life that you cannot do without. 5 things of your items, of a book or something. 5 things. Top of your head.
Phone. Could it, not including food and shit like that, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know now. Probably just my phone, MacBook. I don't know.
It is amazing though that you've only had your phone in your book, right? And you have traveled. I'm gonna jump into one of the other questions. That was a short one. Is you've basically traveled the right way. You've experienced culture and community. Tell us a little of your exploits, your favorite story of your exploits, and the lesson you learned from it. Your favorite story of wherever you've been.
It'll probably be the most recent one, won't it? Which
good.
Which is the time I got stepped by the cartel in Mexico, like, which is the one the one that was sort of I don't know. It was one of those ones that you think, oh, it'd be really cool if it happens, but you know what I mean. I don't know if I want it to happen. Like, it'd be great if I could have made the video of it because it's just me talking about it now. But if I'd have been videoing them, then they might have just took my camera, because it was a nice sunny day, and I was going down the main road, and up and down this main road is it Trampolinas, which is I didn't realize how bad of an area it was, actually, tell you the truth. It's just off the border of the US, on the right hand side as you look at the map with Mexico. So I'm going down the main road, and there's army and police trucks going up and down all the time. And like they're the pickup trucks, and there's a guy on the back with a gun, not like a small gun, mounted on the back of the pickup truck. So I decided to go off on a side road. I thought I'd go this way, and I've seen a small route to Mexico City, so I thought I'd go this way. Cycling down the road, gorgeous, middle of nowhere. These guys stop me, ask me some questions. They go on. I think nothing of it. Taking some videos, some pictures. The next thing, like out of a movie, 2 pickup trucks come slamming alongside me. These guys jump out. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. They had sidearms. They had machine guns. So at least 3 jumped out of the first truck, and some jumped out of the second one. But they didn't really come out and surround me. So these 3 guys surround me, and they're asking me questions. You know what I mean? So they're asking me if I've got bombs and everything, and guns, and the military. And I can't speak Spanish, and they only speak a bit of English. So Yeah, and then they're offering me cocaine and stuff, which I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
So eventually they go. So, okay, cool. So I'm cycling away, and I'm all right about it then. And then I turn my camera around, turn my GoPro on, and start talking to myself. And I don't know how long it was they'd gone. Next thing, car's back. It's like, oh, fuck. I'm in this shit now. So they're like asking me questions, and I didn't know how to work my GoPro that well. And I ain't learning under that stress. So I'm trying to like delete it. And I'm like, oh, fingers and thumbs, and I can't do it. I don't know what to do. So I take out the memory card and I say to him, like, yeah, fucking have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. How much it costs? So I'm trying to work it out. I bought it in Chinese. I'm trying to remember how much I paid in Chinese money, and then convert it to dollars, and then convert it to pesos. So I just make something up, you know. It's just like $20. So they give me the $20.
What?
Yeah, they bought it off me. Right. But let's look at this. They were all business. They were laughing and joking, but they were very, very, very casual with their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
This was all business. They were on the radio to their boss all the time. And one thing I do know is them Mexican cartels have got a lot more money than me. They don't know how to spend their money, do they? So why are they going to steal off me? You know what I mean? But one wrong, I still understood as well, one wrong move, and the boss says, no, kill him. Bang, bang. You know, and they just throw me in the ditch. And that'd be it. You know, I read later that a cartel there attacked the army and shot up a big truck of army people. You know, so the scariest bit was so I'm on my bike, straddling my bike, and the main guy who's on the radio to the boss, he'd forgot his automatic, and a van starts coming towards us, and he's like, looks, runs back to the car to get his automatic. It's like, oh fuck, I don't want to get caught in a crossfire. The last thing, I'm on my bike, I can't get out of the way. You know, I don't want to be just middle of a fucking shoot up. That's all you want. They're just about to go, and next thing you get shot because a bit of gang warfare going on. But yeah,
gosh damn.
I changed after the second time. I changed my mind, turned around, and went back. Like, and then it was like about 90 kilometers. So this was like after midday, and I'm on a fat bike. It's about 90 kilometers to the next town. And like, I tried to sleep somewhere and I couldn't settle. So I went to go to the next town. There was no hotels there. So I had to keep at the side of the road behind a hedge that night.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's incredible. Russ, that's an awesome story.
It was probably the best one for that, like, you know.
Wow, man. I can't. Then they were laughing and joking with you?
Yeah, they were all business. You know what I mean? They were all business, but they weren't. They could have humiliated me. They could have threatened me. They could have scared me. You know, they could have tried to make me cry. They could have done anything, you know, tried to beg for my life and everything just to fuck about with me. But they didn't. They were just business with me. You know what I mean? And they were cordial, and you know, they were all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it was fine. It was fine.
Obviously, I was still scared. You know what I mean?
So, Did you ever have any like dealings with the Thai police? Did you ever have any fun experiences with them?
Not so much. No, only like one time where they're asking how big my cock is, or have I got a big cock and things like that. Like, you know what I mean? So nothing where I had any problems with them.
I feel like this is a common trope for you, bro. You walk around. I mean, I'm surprised that the Mexicans didn't ask you.
No, it's a bit different in Thailand, isn't it? With things like that, like, you know what I mean? They're just it's not unusual for that sort of thing to happen over there. Like, you know, the police have told me, because I always forget to put my fly up, and the police have told me that my fly's open before now in Thailand. Like, it's like, what are you looking for?
that actually is something that I can easily talk to with. I have so many stories with Thai police. But my favorite one was they pulled me over and they're like, "You have a license?" And of course, I don't have a license to drive the motorbike that I'm right. So I'm like, "No, here's my license." They just go, "Oh, from Chicago." I was like, yeah, that's where my license is. He's just like, "Oh, Michael Jordan," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, here, man, have some money." And I just gave him like 300 baht or something. He's like, "Oh, thank you," and then like left me alone. It was a friendly interaction. Just like, "Hey, man, do you have a license for this?" "No." "Michael Jordan, here's some money." "All right, man, I'll see you." It's perfect. So what a great country. How amazing is that?
I've paid me way out of loads of things in Thailand with the police. Like sometimes it's cheaper and easier just to give them the money instead of having to go down the police station and pay the fine.
Yeah.
But that's happening less and less now, actually, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. I've rolled a. Oh, this is a good one. I rolled a 12, and this says this. Name the act you're most proud of, and I know that you don't have much an interest in pride, as you've consistently talked about. You're probably one of the most humble people I know. The act that you're most proud of, and the act you regret the most.
Pride never dies.
Yeah, I know it's the best fighting federation there is. Sakharov is still fighting. Pride never dies.
What am I most proud of? Possibly doing what I've just done, that cycling trip. Considering it was, I'm not a cyclist. Just decided to do it. Not loads of planning. Away to go, and off I went. And yeah, it was arguably the best thing I've ever done. So
Tell the viewers what it was, though, bro. Tell them it.
Pardon?
Tell the viewers what it was, though. What did you do?
Oh yeah, I was sat at home and just thought, I need to do something. When I was off in between working, I thought I'll go. With an ex-girlfriend, we talked about going to South America, and I'd always said, should buy a motorbike and we'll ride around a bit like Che Guevara's diaries. And then it was like, all right, let's do it. And I started watching things, and I thought, I don't want to buy a motorbike. Let's get a bicycle. And so ended up getting a fat bike and then riding around and started off in Houston, went to Mexico City, flew to Bogota, rode around Bogota, through Ecuador, down to Peru, and then got stuck in Peru for 3 months or whatever it was. But, even that was still good, and it's just an amazing experience. And when I've been traveling or anything before, it's different. You go to different places, you're traveling at a different speed. You're not getting a bus from town to town to town, or you're not getting a flight from here to there. So you just see different things and have weird interactions with people. And that was the best bit of it. Just those, like having a chat with some guy in a field for half an hour, or, riding past someone who's cutting his grass and then he invites you into the house for a drink, and then he ends up giving you lunch, or, you're staying at people's houses, and it just made me realize how many good people there are in the world. You know what I mean? And that the media only shows you bad, and that's what it is. Like when people say about Mexico or Colombia, it's like, oh, be careful. Don't be careful. It's like, no, there's honestly, most people there are nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like everywhere, most people there are nice. Even like coming out of Houston, there's a guy, I'm cycling down and he's sat on his porch and he stops me to speak to me about his bike and end up staying the night at his house, and he feeds me and everything, and still chat to him on Facebook. And he's a really cool guy, so it's just, that was probably the best thing for me in my life. What do I regret?
Dude, that is something. Okay.
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, that is an epic. That is like one of the best things I've told people, and they're just like, why did he survive all that other shit? So what you were saying, like, people are just amazed that you did something like that because it's so dangerous, and at the same time you come back with all these wonderful stories of humans treating you like a human. I love that shit. I eat it up, man. It's one of my favorite things to hear.
The amount of people stop me to say, do you want something to drink? Do you want something to eat? Can I buy you some food? And at first I'd always say no, because I'm not used to taking stuff off people, but then I realized that if I offer somebody, I'm happy when they accept it. I think it was my sister said to me, you should take it. It's a bit rude not to.
Yeah.
And in that, it's that thing of in Thai they have a word called granjai, don't they? Which doesn't really translate, where you're a bit shy, or you mind, or you care too much to say yes. I want something. Someone say, "Do you want something to eat?"
Yeah.
No, it's okay, thanks. When you're fucking starving, and you just say no, don't you? But whereas those people, you don't offer if you don't want to do it. So it got easier to say, yeah, thanks very much, that's great, I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So what was your regret?
Probably some of the things that went on in a relationship when I was taking loads of drugs, really, and my behavior towards an ex-girlfriend. They're the things that I don't really like, about myself. Without going into too much detail, it's just
no, for sure.
Not that, not. I wasn't hitting them, but it was sort of a bit physical. It was a weird relationship. She'd attack me at times as well, like So in defense of yourself, and then doing things that were humiliating to them, and so if change anything, it'd be that, really.
And
maybe some of the stress that I put my mum under through all my drug taking and getting in trouble with the police. But I don't know. I wouldn't change much of my life, because it's.
See, that's the thing I wanted to jump on with you, though, man, is because, like I said, a lot of people always say this line to me, which is like, they'll be like, I don't regret anything because I wouldn't be who I am. And I go, that's a normal thought. Nobody's arguing that. But if you don't look back at something that you've done, I quote Joe Rogan, he goes, if I don't look back at myself 7 years from now and be like, man, I was an idiot. Why did I ever think these things or say these things? Then I'm not growing. Like, I'll say one for, like, when I was with a girlfriend, the thing that I've changed, and my current girlfriend can attest to this, is that I've never insulted my girlfriend, but I've never yelled. After there was one girl did something wrong to me, and I could not believe what she did. I was just like, how do you, and like, I didn't insult or anything like that, but I made my point loudly. And afterwards, she looked at me, apologized in the meekest way. She's like, I'm sorry. She goes, you don't have to yell, though. And I was just like, and then I raised my hand to be like, what are you? And then I just go, you know what? No, you're right. I don't. That was stupid. I'm sorry. I don't have to yell at you. Like, it's not, I could have told you how disappointed or how hurt I was with this voice. I don't need, and yeah, of course, I'm not trying to deny my emotion, but like, my dad never yells. My mom never yells. So for me, like, I was like, that's just something that I regret. I shouldn't yell about this shit. It's just not worth it. It's not worth, raising my volume about certain things. It's just not. I'd much rather raise my volume when I'm, singing to somebody or being excited to talk to you. Russ, I feel like I just slam you and assail your senses with like, I'm so happy to see you. It's almost like a dog. It's like, Russ, you're back. It's so good to see you. Oh, dude.
The feeling's mutual.
Did you have like 2 pit bulls? Did you have like 2 pit bulls in Thailand?
4.
Gosh damn, dude.
It was a fucking nightmare, they were. Because I'm not a good dog owner, man. My dogs always fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I won't have any dogs again. I've had to rehome like those 4, and then 2 when I left the UK. So that's me on dogs. As much as I love dogs, and they're one of my favorite animals, I won't have any more because I've had to do that, and I just don't think I'm a good dog owner anymore. So
I got you.
Yeah, I think that's
that makes sense.
Unless I get super settled somewhere and I'm old. I'm old now, quite old, and it's just like, okay, I'll just get a rescue dog and hopefully give it a good life for the die together. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, brother. That would be outstanding. I think when you finally set a route, for sure. So I wanted that I have, let's see, about like 6 more questions. However, I do want to end off on one because I thought this was something that you would get a kick out. I thought you would enjoy this. Not that you didn't enjoy all of my questions because they were all amazing, as you know, seeing as I came up.
I love it, man. Talking about my favorite subject, me.
Yeah, of course, that's the idea. You guys get to hear about me. All right, so Russ, Jordan Peterson has a wonderful comparison and analogy about what is not metaphysical, but what is in your own your own perspective, what is heaven and what is hell? Now, mind you, not metaphysical. The question for you is this: if you were to wake up tomorrow and it was your perfect day, it was your day of heaven, something that you're just like, everything went well. I got to talk to my favorite people. I got to eat my favorite food. I got to train Muay Thai for an hour. My body was back in shape. What would it be? And then to flip that, what would the opposite of that be? You'd be like, I'm stuck in a country that I can't get out of. I don't know where I'm going to eat. I'm fat or something like that. Like anything that can come to your mind. So for heaven, is your perfect.
It's a tough question. What is a perfect day? Is there such a thing? Is the question. I think probably perfect day for me is having weird conversations with people and meeting random people. And I think that trip's done that for me. You know what I mean? It was like going back onto that. There was a day when I'm cycling in Colombia and there's these weird shops or stalls that they have at the side of the road that sell all these like sex potions. It looks like
yeah.
So I stop at one and I go in and I'm just chatting to these two girls. You know what I mean? And we're just having this broken chat. It's just cool, you know what I mean? When you have just weird conversations with people and just meet new people and the sun's shining and it's just a bit different. You feel free doing those. So it's getting back to that really. And again, like the other day I went out with my friend and we went up a mountain, walked up Trifan, which is probably one of my favorite places in the world. So and then we camped, apart from getting bitten by midges, it was great. Just those sorts of things, just the simple things, you know what I mean? Yeah, maybe doing Muay Thai now because I haven't done it and training at the camp and things, but I don't know. It's probably about people now. Even though I spent most of my life away from people, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to Colombia. I'm heading to Colombia in a week or two, which I'll be sort of on my own there. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't like spending long in the UK.
Can I ask you? Do you feel, as a stupid analogy, but like when I was younger, from probably around age 12 to 24, I was a night owl. I would stay up thinking, reading, writing, all the time. I would go to sleep at like 3:30 or 4, and I'd wake up at 12. Even when I was in college and stuff like that. Now, of course, when I was in high school, I would go to sleep at like a decent time, probably around like 11:30. Wake up at 6. It wasn't that big. But then I changed to a morning person. Like I just became a different person. Routine, being able to wake up early in the morning for me was a huge thing. I changed my perspective. I've known you for a long time, and you always say that you're very introverted. You like being by yourself. Was there ever a time, like you said now, like you like talking to people? Do you feel in the last 5 years or so that you've become far more, not willing, but far more, and you enjoy the experience more of being around people, talking to people, taking them in?
I don't know if I'm introvert. I think I'm not. I think I'm more of an extrovert, but I'm just a moody fucker. So people piss me off. So, no, seriously, I can't help it.
You don't say.
Yeah, I'm terrible. So I tend to sort of not and manage my life like that because I know that I struggle with being with people. Like when I was in Peru, I spent a month sharing a flat with this guy who wanted to kill a fucker. You know what I mean? Honestly. It's not good. It's not clever. It's really not funny. It is in a way, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not good. It's something that I need to work on. Not that I want to live with people now.
Yeah.
But even girls, I struggle living with them. It's like I need to spend time. I need to have time on my own. I need to have my space, and that's why I do it. But I love people. I know. I love being around people. I love chatting shit. I love, when you have those decent conversations with people. I'm normally have a small circle of friends now because of, you've got to wade through a lot of shit to be my friend, unfortunately.
Really?
There's only certain people that sort of will go through that pain barrier. Most people are like, fuck, I can't be asked. And I also I've got, unfortunately, I've got one of those faces. It's a bit better now because I've learned to smile a bit more. But my face says "fuck off,"
Uh,
instead of "hello, come up, pleased to meet you. How's it going?" You know, like that time I talk about when I was stood outside the fights one night and I'm just leaning against the wall and the guy's taking photos. So I'm like, and he's like, no, just look mean. What do you mean fucking mean? I don't want to look mean, mate. I want to be friendly. And he's looking at me like, what the fuck's going on here?
What happened with by the way, with the Full Metal Dojo? Did they ever do anything with you
Yeah,
where you can,
still
help?
they're still doing stuff. They've just done a Full Metal fight circus with like fucking just nuts stuff on it. Like, I had a friend moaning about it. But like two little guys fighting this big guy, a girl versus a boy in a grappling competition, fat guy fighting a skinny guy, left way. What else did they do? I can't remember now. Just like loads of fucking daft fights like that, like, you know what I mean? Circus fights. And they're just about to do another one now. So yeah.
Was this successful?
I don't know. They've done it on Cam Soda. I think, there's they've done all right. I think they're doing another one. John's crazy, isn't he? You know what I mean? John's all about the party and all about doing something different, and in all fairness, I might complain about it, saying it's putting fighting back and everything, and maybe if you're the purist, it is, but there's a place for everything, I think. And if people are earning money, then fine, fair enough. That's one of the things I want to do with my podcast is hopefully, if it ever got big enough, is give young fighters a chance to put their name out and get moving on things like that. You know what I mean? Like I was chatting to Nick Chapman on, and he's talking about sponsorship, and I've seen a few people lately just post on Instagram like, who wants to sponsor me, basically, and it's like, it's, what you're really saying is he wants to give me some money for nothing,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
Like when I'm chatting to him, he's like, yeah, you tell him what you're going to do and that, because I was asking him about doing something, and fucking hell, the detail he was giving me was like, whoa, I think I'm quite smart and stuff, but it's another level. Seriously, it was like really interesting chatting to him about it.
I might have to. I didn't see that one. I watched some of the John Fitch. I watched a lot of the other ones that you've had.
Mm-hmm.
That one I haven't seen. I should check that out. Dude, I wanted to tell you, man. Like at the you didn't say what your hell was though. Like, what's one thing? You being stuck in some place. What would be like hell for you? Like the one thing you don't want to go back to. One thing you're like, I cannot.
Fucking staying in that room with that fucking French guy in Peru, where I nearly threw him off the fucking balcony. We were on the 17th.
Oh my gosh!
Fuck it. Honestly, it was close. There was one day I got pissed off and I lost it, and I'm fucking shouting, and I'm following him to the balcony. If he'd have turned around, I'd have just fucking slung him off the balcony. And then, like, one of them ones where you do something, and after you're like, oh shit, I'm in the fucking shit now, aren't I?
Then it'd be like, Andrew, how are you? Listen, do you have a shovel? I need your help.
Oh, they got the stray dogs on him.
Okay. No, it'd be pigs, right? It'd be pigs.
Don't trust a man with a
from Snatch. Yep, there it is. Dude, as usual, man, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, man. I thank you so much for being on my podcast, The Second Idea.
It was your idea, this one. This is your idea.
I know it was. It was more idea for me to be on this one and ask you questions. And not only that, dude, like you had so many interesting people on there and they're awesome. But like there's a lot of MMA. I was sitting there and this sounds like I'm patronizing you, but I was like, yeah, man, but like Russ's life is so interesting. Like they definitely should, somebody has to interview this guy. Then I'm like, wait a minute, jackass. You love talking to people. In fact, it's the best thing you do is just talk to people. You're really good at it.
You're better at that than me. It's a skill that I'm having to try and learn. You know what I mean? I'm all right talking about myself. What I do is I don't normally have conversations. There's a few people I have conversations with. Most of the people I just talk at and they have glazed eyes. You know what I mean? When I'm going on with myself. And they're like, what the fuck is this dickhead going on about now? So I have to learn the skill of like
Yeah.
interviewing people and trying to draw things out of them, which you're fucking great at. You do this a lot more naturally than I do.
Well, I like you. It's kind of easy. But anyway, brother, it is 11. I got to get out of here. So it was awesome talking to you, man. I will talk to you later.
See you later, man. Peace out. Cheers, Ange. Take care, mate.
Peace.
Bye.